6. Electric scooters, otherwise known as e-scooters, are now available to rent across the capital as part of a trial headed by Transport for London, many London councils and operators Lime, Dot and Tier. The scooters have attracted a lot of controversy in recent years, with people claiming they pose a threat to pedestrians and increase the risk of crime. The traffic lawyer Nick Freeman is working to mitigate the risks by calling for measures such as visible registration and mandatory safety wear. And he joins us now. Hello, Nick. Hello, Nick Freeman.
Good evening,
Can you
Carol.
hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, Carol. Yes. Hello.
Great. Thank you very much indeed. Just explain, first of all, if people want to hire an e-scooter, can they just do so without any no helmets, no permits? They're just open to everyone.
Yeah. Well, in London, they have to actually do an online course, and you need to be the holder of either a full driving license or a provisional license or a moped license. Obviously, you have to be over 16, and provided you've passed the online course and you're the holder of one of those licenses, you pay the fee, you can go and hire one of these e-scooters. And of course, these e-scooters are in fact subject to exactly the same laws that cars are subject to. So the Road Traffic Act applies to them. So there's a whole raft of laws: drink driving, drug driving, speeding, etc., etc. In London, the speed limit's been actually reduced to 12.5 miles per hour, which is 3 miles an hour less than the other rental pilots throughout the country. But the huge difficulty is you just don't know who's riding them. So it's all very well having these laws in place, but they're really redundant unless you have some means of identifying the person at any particular time who is riding that, as you do with a car and a registration plate.
A totally unscientific straw poll of Times Radio staff in the office is that these things are a complete nightmare, that people are riding them on the pavements as well as the roads, that they're weaving in and out, that they're a nightmare if you're on a bike, and that they seem to be a license for people to actually ignore all the rules of the land.
Well, look, they are environmentally friendly, and that is a huge benefit, although they are, in my view, going to stop people actually exercising and walking, and there probably will be detrimental health effects. But in terms of actually, I mean, the scheme rolled out in London today, in several boroughs today, and if everyone was legally compliant, then there wouldn't be a problem.
What are the extra rules that you'd like to see introduced?
I'd like every rider to have a tabard with a registration on the back, so that if any member of the public saw that person commit an offence, such as driving on the pavement, going through a red light, there is a means of saying, right, I've got that number, I'm going to report it, I can video it on my phone, I'm going to report it, and the authorities will then be able to trace the driver in the same way that they do with a registered car. The crime process for a registered car starts with a registration plate, and we need a similar system in place so that we can make every rider of an e-scooter legally accountable, because without that the laws are completely useless, unless they're actually, there are a lot of accidents, there are all sorts of situations that are happening, but that's what we need to kick in the law, so that the law actually works. That's the first thing we need to do. I mean, there are inherent problems that you touched upon in terms of using these vehicles for crime. And the police are seizing approximately in London 4 e-scooters a day. Well, there are thousands and thousands of illegal e-scooters on the roads in London at the moment, on the pavements being used. They're all illegal until today. And seizing 4 a day doesn't even begin to touch the problem. So we need to remove the illegal ones, which can travel at up to 68 miles per hour, can be used for illicit purpose. Their very presence is illegal, unlawful. They need to be confiscated and probably destroyed. And the ones who are going to actually comply with the rental scheme, we need to identify who's riding them.
Okay, Nick Freeman, traffic lawyer, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.